Hey dudes and dudettes, sorry if that was a really weird beginning to a video. I thought I was watching the trailer to the new Matrix movie. Turns out I wasn't, but I found it now. I'm pretty sure I now have it correct. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we found the right trailer now. Yeah, I watched the fan-made trailer. Good. I don't want to ruin it. I want you guys to have my first initial reaction to this. Okay, guys. I'm excited. Those of you that know me know I'm a freaking massive Matrix fan. Part of the style that I kind of have on a daily basis is inspired because of the Matrix. It is one of my favorite, if not the favorite, movie trilogy I own and have watched, and I obsess over this movie. Ever since I heard about this fact there's a Matrix 4, I've been ecstatic, and yeah, I cannot wait. So here's my initial reaction, maybe a bit of theorizing. We'll see how this goes. I don't know anything except the tiny little snippets that have kind of been released prior to this, before the fans were like, look, we need this trailer now. And I'm so glad that people asked for it, because yes, let's do this. Let's watch it. And let's enjoy. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited.
Thomas? You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
Black. Oh.
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
Am I crazy?
No?
We don't use that word in here.
No, you're not, Neo. You are the one. As far as the Matrix is concerned, anyway. Oh, this is so different.
Hi.
But so good.
Have we met?
So he's taking the blue pill because he's staying in the Matrix. So he's disconnected from reality. Alice in Wonderland following. Tumbling down the rabbit hole.
Time to fly.
Hang on. Was that looked like an old Neo in the reflection? Yeah, it was like an older Neo. That's interesting, because from what we know is, as we're about to see again when I replay it, is we've got like what looks to be a young Morpheus. So the fact that he sees an old version of himself, intriguing. The fact that there's old man Neo and young man Morpheus. They're definitely heavily playing into the fact that this is all in his head and Neo is crazy and just feels disconnected from society, which one of the elements of the original film. No way. I am making 100% bet that there is absolutely no way that we're going to have it turn out to be all in Neo's head, because that to me would ruin the original trilogy, because there's so much discussion and so much intrigue about like the core elements of the original films, that if you just turn around and go, yeah, well, the whole time Neo was just a crazy person who just felt disconnected from society. Cool. It's a lot of heavy implications of what was going on in those films, but nah, it wouldn't sit right with me. I don't think it would sit right with a lot of people either.
Time to fly.
Lana Wachowski, that was it.
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to follow me.
The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. You don't know me, no?
This Christmas! What? Agents still exist. Neo has Neo powers still.
To be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
So, as you saw at the end there, he said, going back to the Matrix. There it is, isn't it?
Back to the Matrix.
So, but that's a different psychiatrist type person to Neil Patrick Harris we see at the beginning of the trailer.
Particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
So, all right, we'll do mini theory crafting here. This trailer seems to have you think that he's talking to Neil Patrick Harris, his character, the psychiatrist, about the Matrix. And maybe this is a later moment in the film where they're trying to convince him that the Matrix isn't real and it's all in his head. Right? So... But then, if that's the case, why do we then also get this? If that's later, because he's in a suit. Hang on, let's have a look. Right.
Particularly triggered.
Okay, so here he sees the black cat.
Triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
He's wearing slightly, like, if we remember the first Matrix film, like when Neo is first introduced into the concept of the Matrix after he is freed, he wears not quite civilian clothes, but it's not like rebel clothing, because the rebel clothing is the leather, the long coat, the sunglasses, like the true distinction, like, hey, look, we're cool and different and we hate the system kind of thing. But to begin with, up to Morpheus's capture, Neo wears like civvy clothing almost. It doesn't quite fit in with the Nebuchadnezzar crew because he hasn't fully accepted his role as the One, or his true purpose as like the one to help mankind. So his clothing kind of fits that idea, and he seems to be in that kind of clothing here. So this is clearly earlier in the film, before he's fully disconnected. So this might be like like the new film's version of him sitting at his PC, trying to find out what the Matrix is. Obviously, this is him dealing with counselling, because whatever reason that Neo is still alive, he is like, he's questioning his own reality. So the machines replugged him back in, but had to make him question they had to make him question his reality to some degree, so that he could accept, like, because they can't erase his mind completely. So in order for those flickers to exist, it's, yeah, well, you went through psychiatric help. Whereas the endpoint here, if you notice, he's now in a suit. So this is more later in the film. This is him more the breaking out of the system, rejecting it, closer to the one kind of outfit. And I wonder if this character here,
Where it all started.
this new dude, in the suit, and he's in a high-rise tower, if this is either going to be the Mr. Smith replacement of the movie, or maybe even the architect kind of character. Because he's talking about the Matrix.
Back to the Matrix.
Yeah. So he's still trying to make Neo question his reality. So for whatever makes this version of the Matrix different from the last, they're trying to make sure he still questions his reality. But obviously we see that at some point, like we got this new travel system as well, like the mirror system.
The only thing that
Like right there, he travels through a mirror. Clearly, this is like the cut is deliberately done in a certain way that the cool
You're going to have to follow me.
new Trinity character, this lass with the blue hair, goes through the door and travels through this mirror, which is kind of a reference to when Neo first gets ejected from the Matrix and his mind is free. Is he touches the mirror and it kind of does a weird ripple and grows out, like almost takes over his body, because it's like he's rejecting this reality and seeing the facade that it is. So that's kind of like a callback to that. So, but I wonder if that the cut is deliberately done in that way, where they don't travel from the door into this mirror. This is some sort of other transport style to it. Maybe this is how they go from the real world into the Matrix. It's got these new kind of doorways or something, or maybe since the peace between man and machine has happened, and the Matrix is now different. It's more of a 21st century version of the Matrix. People have mobile phones and everything. Maybe there's this new travel system. But we do see if we can get one of these. This is him pouring away all the pills. See the book. Maybe this is the new Oracle, the new look for the Oracle, because we know the Oracle in different iterations can look different, or if the Oracle has been attacked and needs a new form, like the Oracle changes. Especially if this is maybe the machines. Obviously, they made the offer at the end of Revolutions to have peace if Neo managed to defeat Smith and reset the Matrix. But the Oracle was one of the surviving programs in the reset. But maybe because the machines are now fighting back, or the machines don't want peace anymore, they've killed off the old Oracle program and redesigned her in some way. This is different. This is weird. The whole
time to fly.
But that's the thing. If this is a continuation and a new alliteration, why is it then that if this is a continuation from the story of Revolution of the Matrix trilogy, why is Morpheus young? I had a thought that maybe this is going to explore the idea that they stated in Matrix Reloaded when the architect was talking to Neo and was explaining how the Matrix works. He did talk about it like this being the sixth iteration of the Matrix. And my mind always wondered whether, does that mean that they, in each iteration, obviously like the one is obviously saved, like builds up a bit more of a resistance, and then when the time comes and the machines want to reset and start on a new plate, they send the one into the Matrix to pick out the founding members of Zion. He collects the the founders of Zion, then frees a few more minds, and then disappears, so that the legend of the One can continue to exist. And obviously, like, the final act is once he's collected the council for Zion, he goes through him doing that also resets the Matrix. But does that mean that each reset, is it that Morpheus is always the one that finds Neo, and that Neo always looks like Neo, and he'll always encounter a young Morpheus? But is it this time around that, for whatever reason, because of the way that Neo had the Matrix reset and in Revolutions, that somehow he can remember, and there's aspects of him that is bleeding into this new iteration of the Matrix, and that's why we're seeing a younger Morpheus. So timeline wise, in the Matrix, this would be an earlier point than where the Matrix movie originally takes place. Like, imagine, best way to explain it is like when Morpheus finds Neo in the Matrix, he's a lot older, he's been fighting the war for 20, 30, however many years it is, but this here is Morpheus only just been freed, or 10 years into the war. So that's why it's a younger Morpheus, and that's why he knows, like, that's how he always knew that Neo was the one, because Neo always looks the same. I don't know, it's interesting. The trailer gives you just enough to make you go, ooh. Doesn't really give you enough.
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to follow me.
The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up.
Trinity, we saw here, Trinity's got the code going down her face, so that heavily does imply that she's a character, Neo. Like, whatever reason Neo is beginning to awaken now and has stopped taking his blue pill, he bumped into Trinity, or at least a program that looks like Trinity. So maybe we're going to get a reversal. Maybe it's not going to be man versus machines. Maybe the machines need Neo this time around. And so they've created this program that looks like Trinity, because that's why Neo broke the normal protocols of what the One does in Matrix Reloaded, is because in this iteration of the Matrix, the One fell in love. And so instead of going through the door, collecting the Zion Council members and resetting the Matrix, instead he tore down the walls of the Matrix, essentially, to rescue Trinity and save her life. And therefore, because he didn't reset it, Mr. Smith was able to continue to corrupt, and that's why it led to Neo having to self-sacrifice to destroy the virus and then reset the Matrix. But which we all know, Trinity dies in Matrix Revolution, so but this green code going down her face, it really makes me think that Trinity is still dead. This is going to be a computer program of Trinity. But as the trilogy stated by the end of it, is it doesn't really matter. Like, man, machine, program, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you do with your existence. The fact that there was a program that, even though he was just a program, he fell in love with his program daughter so much that that love became a real thing, and he did everything to protect her. And it turned out that the daughter was the one, but that was beside the point. He almost made her important because spiritually he developed love. And that's why at the end of the Matrix Revolution, you have the robots looking all yellow and being all about spirit. Is because, yeah, the machines were just as enlightened, if not more enlightened, than the humans were by the end. So maybe we're going to almost get a flip on its head, that the humans rescue Neo to begin with, but but actually it's the humans that are the problem, not the machines. Maybe that's why there is this program of Trinity. It's the machine's way of reaching out and trying to get Neo's help, because something has changed since the peace.
Fighting, and why you will never give up. You don't know me, no?
Can't believe it's coming this Christmas. So we're getting the machine world still, and the desert of the real. New agents. Oh, hang on, that's Trinity. That's Trinity in a pod. So maybe Trinity is alive. What is going on? And she seems to be unlocking powers like the One. Which if you watch the Matrix films, you do begin to notice that those closest to Neo do begin to develop abilities beyond even what freed minds can do. As in the first film, Morpheus attempts to take on an agent and gets his absolute stuffing kicked out of him. But then come Matrix Reloaded, because Neo has embraced the religion of the One, and he is the One, and he can walk up to an agent and the agents go, "Oh God, it's him." That it kind of inspires and frees Morpheus's mind even more, so he is capable of doing newer things, and Trinity does the same. So maybe they're gonna develop that more. Is that, yeah, because Trinity was in love with Neo and was so close to Neo, that maybe that's how her mind survived, and the machines just plugged her back in as well, and she's now got these abilities because she too is as enlightened as Neo was, because she basically had a near-death experience. Neo's not just dodging bullets anymore.
Years to be going back to where it all started.
Back to the Matrix. Let's go 10 seconds. I might show you something more at the end. (22nd of the 12th). Well, I am freaking buzzed. Yeah, I am buzzed to shit about this, and oh my god, I cannot wait. So yeah, guys, that was my reaction to the new Matrix trailer. Resurrections. Interesting. Resurrections. Neo resurrecting, Trinity resurrecting. That is Resurrections. The Wachowskis always were very on point with their the names they did, like down to the point of the names of characters, of locations and ships and stuff. It's all very Pacific. Official trailer 1, so it's going to be another trailer at some point. Oh, Nelly. Keep an eye out, guys, because there's another trailer I'm watching. I'm going to do a reaction to that too. Oh my god. This is going to take some thinking about, and maybe trying to piece together what's going to happen here. It's a shame it's only Lana Wachowski and it's not both of them. But yeah, I am still buzzed about this. It's going to be a bit getting used to with it being more of a modernized thing and not the 90s kind of feel, because it's one thing I loved about the original trilogy. But yeah. Whoa! So there you go, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this trailer reaction, and I will catch you all in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!